Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
Hey guys, and welcome back to Make a Reaction Reviews, where we react and review to things on the internet. And today I want to talk about an actor and an accused groomer and child predator named Ezra Miller. Now, before we get into it, I am going to try my best to respect Ezra's pronouns, which is they, them. I also believe the other person a part of the story, which is Tokata, I'm going to try to pronounce their name properly, also goes as they, them. FYI, Tokata, the person Ezra is actually accused of grooming, didn't start identifying as they, them, I believe, until they met Ezra. Because that's what cults do. They indoctrinate people. But anyway. However, the only reason why I am going to respect Ezra's pronouns is not because I respect Ezra, because if it's true, if the allegations are true, that he not only groomed a girl from the age of 12 years old, that he allegedly possibly have assaulted underage girls, as well as drugging them and doing really weird rituals and shit like that. This rabbit hole goes really far, guys. I'm respecting Ezra's pronouns because I simply don't know what YouTube policies are on this, and I don't want to get kicked out because for some reason there's a couple of communities on this planet that is more protected than any other community that exists, and that is one of the particular reasons why I actually want to talk about this whole rabbit hole with Ezra Miller. Now, this story is convoluted and it goes deep. Again, this rabbit hole goes deep. And there's a lot of allegations and really big allegations. So because a lot of them are allegations and a lot of them are just being accused, I don't know what fact, I don't know what fiction is. And so I'm not gonna go through every single detail of this craziness, but I'll just hit on it a little bit. So Ezra Miller is a TV star, a movie star. He is a Hollywood person. And he has been on things like Fantastic Beasts, and he was going to be the face of the new superhero franchise, and he's just been acting for a really long time. And Ezra is also probably what's championing himself as a social justice warrior, someone who is super woke, you know what I mean? The type of person that will put hashtags and flags and black boxes in their bio and timeline without really doing any research or what they're actually supporting, but just supporting it because it's a part of their ideology. Okay, so I mentioned this a little bit earlier. The most particular reason why I wanted to talk about this story is because when you take an entire group, or when you create this narrative of anyone from a marginalized community or anyone who slaps a label or a pronoun on themselves, kind of automatically makes them virtuous and sort of untouchable, that is a very dangerous narrative to create for young kids and girls. It's the same thing when it comes to women. My entire freaking life, I have been told over and over again how dangerous men are, how aware you should be around men, how cautious you should be around men. Toxic masculinity all day, every day. From the time I was born, I was also told how virtuous women were, how brave women were, how kind and pure and righteous women were, that the world would just be a better place if women were in charge. That narrative is also very dangerous for little kids and young girls because you have helped them create boundaries and this sort of automatic caution when it comes to men, but their guard is completely off when it comes to other women, which is bad because women can also be predators. One of the #1 ways that young girls get sort of kidnapped and drugged into human and sex trafficking, they get lured in by other women. It's easier for other women to lure other women into sex trafficking than men because women are already cautious around men, but their guards are down around women because their entire life they have been told that women just have this unique DNA that makes them just more virtuous than men for some reason. Instead of teaching young girls that men and women can be predators, therefore your spidey senses should always be on. It's the same thing when it comes to this freaking community. You know the community I'm talking about, this very far left, woke, progressive, you know, rainbow flag, alphabet fucking community with the pronouns and all the labels. Everyone's scrambling to be a part of some sort of marginalized community because they just don't want to be cis, straight, and white. Anytime anyone's a part of this community, they're being seen as automatically virtuous. They're part of the loving, open-minded, safe space community, which is a load of crock. Because if you're not a part of their community, they treat you like a piece of shit. I'm sick and tired of mainstream media and the far lefts of the TikToks and social medias gaslighting everybody else who has been ringing the alarms that this grooming weird behavior has been going on and being telling us over and over again that we're lying or we're just making it up or we're just transphobic or we're just homophobic. How many girls have been sexually assaulted because people who were born as male can now go into the girls' bathroom? Remember the spa trans women who exposed their male genitalia to little girls and turned out to be a sex offender on a sex registry list? How many times do we have to keep ringing the alarms and constantly being just told to shut the fuck up and sit down? Every time someone from the other side or someone a part of this community or mainstream media says that we're just making this up and that we're just transphobic and that we're just homophobic, the kids and young girls that are part of that community, the narrative created for them is that in this community is safe. There are no predators in this community. There are no groomers in this community. The people who point this out, they're just transphobic and homophobic, so ignore any red flags, ignore any warning signs, because that just does not exist. I've actually had people come to my comment section and said that queer people don't molest kids. That's just not a thing. There's no data that proves that queer people have ever touched any little kid. Are you freaking kidding me? What about all the priests? If the adults in these communities actually cared about the safety of these young kids and these little girls, what they would be telling them, it doesn't matter what community someone is a part of. It doesn't matter their pronouns and it doesn't matter their label. There are going to be predators in every community that exists. Just like I just mentioned, the conservative religious community, there are predators, and within the conservative religious community, people use their hierarchy of religion to molest and harm little kids. People have used the idea of being philanthropists to get closer to children so they can be predators to little kids. This is nothing new. The idea of people putting virtuous labels on themselves or hiding behind virtuous ideas or shields to be predators and to get close to the vulnerable. This is nothing new. I don't know why people didn't pay attention to this a lot longer. That's really the main point I wanted to point out in this whole Ezra thing, is that if you look at the history of their behavior, they have choked out people at bars. They have been arrested. They have been problematic for a long time. And gone away with it for a long time because A, they're a celebrity, B, because they're attractive, so pretty privileged, and C, because they had the label. They had the virtual signal label. They had the pronoun. They waved the flag. They said all the right, leftist, progressive things about BLM and white supremacy and all these things, which made them, give them the allure that they are virtuous. I don't know why people don't understand that there are so many predators out there that will see this and go, all I have to do, and I'll have access to kids and women, and they'll see me as a safe space without being cautious or aware whatsoever because I have this automatic virtual label on myself because I made myself a pronoun because I said I'm non-binary. Like, anybody can be a predator. So when we're pointing out grooming, stop gaslighting us and telling us it doesn't exist. Ezra themselves were completely aware of this unique superpower that the people in these communities possess when they were getting arrested, and they were literally screaming out their pronoun, telling them, because of my pronoun, you're not allowed to touch me, you have to let me go. They literally believed because they had a unique pronoun, they, them, or whatever, that gave them a get out of jail free card.
I'm not transgender, non-binary, I don't want to be searched by a man. I'm transgender, non-binary, and I don't want to be searched by a man. I claim my Fourth Amendment rights. Tell me your name and your badge number.
So what did I do wrong?
Getting arrested for spit in somebody's face.
A guy in that bar declared himself as a Nazi. I have it on film, and he attacked me.
Okay.
I'm not transgender, non-binary, I don't want to be searched by a man.
Sorry, sir.
Don't be sorry. I'm not a sir. I'm transgender, non-binary. Please don't refer to me as sir. It's not okay. Right?
Okay. No, I was just trying to be respectful.
If you failed to do that again, that is an act of intentional bigotry, and it is a technical hate crime according to U.S. federal law. Please call me they, them, theirs. You can use the term mix.
If Ezra was a cis, straight, white man, people would have rained the alarms on him a long time ago. Because he is presenting himself a certain way, that's why he got away with this. And of the other evidence that shows that by saying that anyone who says groomer is somehow transphobic, this girl, Tokata, her parents are searching for her. Her parents have been basically begging for people to help them bring their daughter home. And Tokata herself came out and said their concerns for her was just transphobic, because the narrative has been for years now, anybody who points out grooming behavior is just transphobic. Y'all guys really want to keep that narrative going? And speaking of parents, where the fuck was her parents? This grooming allegedly started when Tokata was 12 years old, and mind you, Ezra met Tokata at one of these sort of like progressive liberal protest marchy things, you know what I mean? It's basically Ezra is doing this sort of like male feminist thing where, you know, men say they're male feminists just so they can get close to women and women will put their guards down. That's basically what Ezra has done, but in a more degenerate, horrific, and illegal way, allegedly. Again, predators will take advantage of these things. I don't know why. People just can't admit that. But again, I don't know what the parents were doing. Like, I see the parents trying now, but like, if there was a grown-ass man, no matter what they identified as, trying to get at my 12-year-old child, I call the police. And if that doesn't help, I would literally move out of the fucking country before I let you that close to my kid, where the point you're grooming them at 12 years old. So I don't know what the fuck is up with these parents. I don't know, like, why they just let this kind of continue for so long. Like, take the phones away, rip out the fucking internet, no Wi-Fi at home, whatever you need to do. You're supposed to protect your fucking kids, but whatever. That's the end of this video, guys. I wasn't gonna go too much into the actual story of all the things Ezra is being accused of, because that's not really my point. My point is like, I truly believe he got away with this for so long is because of the label he identified as, or the label they identified as, excuse me. And that's the only reason. If he was, again, a conservative cis white male, they would have never got away with this. As a matter of fact, Tokata would have never even allowed herself to get groomed. Not allowed, but Tokata would have never even got groomed, because again, from the time you're born, you're told that cis white men and conservatives and religious are the devil. But anybody who belongs to the rainbow community, they're just virtuous in a safe space. So because of that fucking narrative, she didn't have her guard up with Ezra. She would have had her guard up with this if this was just a basic cis white male, a conservative, Trump supporter, moderate, religious person. His label, his identity, what they identified as, is what got him to get away with this for so long. Plus they're a celebrity, plus they're pretty. We get it. Anyway, that's the end of this video, guys. Let me know what you think of this whole thing. I'm kind of sick of being gaslit with the whole grooming stuff, and I feel really bad for this child. I feel bad for all the women that allegedly got groomed also by Ezra and drugged and all these weird things. I hope he get caught. I hope he get prosecuted, and maybe this will open the eyes to people to stop telling us to shut the fuck up about grooming ass behavior. Bye bye.